Hey there, welcome to another edition of Cambridge Inside Out. I'm Robert Winters.
And Judy Nathans?
And today's August 7th, 2018.
Yes.
Whenever it's early August and we're in the midst of horrible humidity, I always reminded of the day. It might have been actually this day, but it was in 1974 when I was coming back from being in California.
It was 1974.
Well, I remember
something must have happened.
Well, what I remember was that I had been completely oblivious to all the Watergate stuff. I had totally tuned out of politics.
74, was that the... Oh, yes.
And this is true story.
He left before he could be impeached. He was
Right.
impeached.
So, I was a guy who used to go around with an impeach Nixon button on my pants.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yeah.
And then I just totally tuned out from politics. So then we're heading back from California to 1956 Ford truck with a camper shell on the back.
Wow.
Probably huffing a bit of gasoline fumes half the way,
Yeah,
not
right.
by choice,
Yeah.
but because that's the way it
This
was.
is before your bus.
Long before I even
Yeah.
had a driver's license.
Oh.
And then we pulled into a town in Pennsylvania called 84 because it was on Interstate 84.
Right.
And I saw on one of those little newspaper racks,
Yeah.
and there was the headline, "Nixon to resign tomorrow."
Wow.
And I went, "What?"
That's fascinating because
I
it's
had
the
no
only way
idea.
you would have found out. Because there's
That's
no iPhones, phones,
That's it.
nothing.
Nothing. So
Oh,
that's how I
my
found out. It was at a
God.
truck stop in 84, Pennsylvania.
I was in Europe, I think, when I found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. Will history repeat itself? I don't know.
Well, it would
Probably.
be nice, wouldn't it?
It sure would be nice. So, what's to speak of today? One thing, it's just because it's
today in the general sense, or today?
maybe
today?
like today, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, I have
So,
a couple things. Yeah.
A little addition in Central Square, amongst other additions in
Mm-hmm.
Central Square, but it appeared yesterday. So for those that don't know, Cambridge actually has a billboard ordinance that was actually challenged. It went all the way up to the United States Supreme Court
What?
some years ago. Well, they were
Challenged
basically
by
saying,
who? The city?
I think
Against
it was
Avatar, like
the
Clear Channel and people?
I forget the name of there was one individual who owned a lot of the billboards
Well,
that were
Clear
on top of a lot of
Channel, I
buildings.
know.
Predates
Yeah.
Clear
Wow.
Channel. It was
Okay.
like Edgerly or something like
So
that.
somebody local.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was relatively local. And so Cambridge wanted to just knock them all down. There used to be billboards on a lot of buildings, right? And then it was challenged. And then in the end, it was a free speech matter. And,
Wow.
whether that makes sense to you or not, I don't know. But so what happened was it was one of those classic compromises where you couldn't put up any new billboards anywhere in the city. But if you had an existing
You were
billboard,
grandfathered in.
you're grandfathered in and you could keep it.
Wow.
So a lot of people have jealously guarded these structures on their buildings for billboards. There's actually one I'm looking at over there right now, over at the corner of Columbia Street. It used to say Hancock Paint,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But there was one, a narrow one. Central Square used to have a lot of these
Well, when you
big,
say billboards, I'm
spectacular
thinking of the ones on top of buildings.
Well, yeah,
You're-
you're right. I maybe
You're talking about signage.
conflating these. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there actually are some real billboards that are on top of.
Is that when the
buildings.
Coca-Cola thing came down, or was that a separate thing?
That was the Coca-Cola sign disappeared. That was the one
That-
over by the
I
Mass
loved
Pike.
that. It was
So did I.
beautiful.
That was just when they were doing hotel
So
reconstruction,
Coca-Cola
and it just
actually,
went away.
okay.
I don't
Didn't
know.
it reappear somewhere?
I don't know. Wonder whatever happened. Does
It-
anybody out there know what became of the Coca-Cola sign?
I loved it. Yeah.
Does anybody
Anyway,
out there know what the Coca-Cola sign reference
we'll
is?
find out. Oh, right. That's
I
true.
know. Yeah. Some of you
You know
newcomers,
what, maybe-
you carpetbaggers.
Maybe in all of your archives you can find a photo of it.
I
Well, I'm
never,
sure it's on the internet.
I never took
All
a
right.
photo of it, but you can
I'll-
find it.
I'll look it up
You
and
most certainly
try to
can find
remember.
it, right?
Okay.
Right.
So,
So
fast
anyway,
forward. All right.
so there were billboards, and then there was just big, spectacular signage. So on the Blockbuster Video place, which we used to be was called Coquette before that, whatever.
oh boy, you really
And then it
have
was
good memory.
the Me Too or You Too or what was the name of the gallery?
Oh, Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue.
Me Too.
Out of the Blue too, right?
Right. Yeah. For a long time it was. Yeah.
I live in another dimension. Pardon me.
And then that
but-
caused some friction, just like the EMF.
Oh yeah,
in a
yeah.
way.
So,
but anyway.
so anyway, there was a standard on there for a big sign, and if you look at old pictures from like the 50s and 60s, you can see big spectacular
Sure.
signage that was on
Yeah.
there. I forget exactly what was on that one there.
Yeah.
But so anyway, it's just been sitting there covered with graffiti for ages in one of the Morris Nagar buildings. who's famous for having graffiti left all over his
Someone
buildings.
went up that high and.
Yeah, well, there's a big building right near where this one is. So anyway,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
the Central Square Business Association said, "Hey, we have an idea. We want to, you know, you don't have a tenant in the building right now. We want to put up a sign. Are you good with this? It'll look great, and we'll all feel really happy." And he said, "Sure." So here it is.
Yeah.
So the
there it
latest
is.
edition. So I think this actually went up, I think yesterday, right in Central Square.
So, Robert, what is this structure? Is this another sign?
No.
Structure, is that part of what's holding this up?
That is what's holding
I
that
see.
up.
So it's just the angle I'm looking
And you
at.
can actually look in the photos from the 1950s, and you can see that structure. Same structure. It was there, and it's just sitting there. And
see a ladder there that somebody.
well, that was because it was just on the process of being put up.
I know, but how did they go from there to right there? Anyway.
Right. Well, I actually they had like a cherry picker truck also
okay.
For mounting
It's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah. No, it's really nice. And but the thing is that the way the rule would work right now under the sign ordinance, which is different than the billboard ordinance, I guess, is that you wouldn't be allowed a sign that big today, which I think is a mistake because I think Central Square is a place where you really should have some spectacular signage. I think it adds to the place. And maybe just the fact that this is pretty outstanding looking will sort of send that message across to people that a little interesting, colorful signage is not.
Now I'm going to ask
necessarily
a silly question. On the other side, is it the same thing?
Same thing, I think.
Oh,
I
good.
actually haven't looked at the other side. I only looked at this
well,
one.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's back and
Right.
forth, right? Okay.
So
nice.
anyway, for those of us who are kind of regular
Yeah.
denizens of the square, this
Yes,
is sort of a cool
it's a
thing.
nice improvement.
You know,
Yep.
Michael Monestein, the executive director of Central Square Business Association, helped facilitate this.
Yep.
There was a little city money, probably with the facade improvements, I think. I suppose. Actually, don't know.
So the owners again, Morris Nagar.
Morris Nagar and his
He
family.
didn't contribute any money to it.
Probably not. Probably not.
Oh.
Yeah, but just the fact that he's allowing it to.
But so what if
happen
a
is good
business
thing.
moves in there?
Well, then they could argue with that maybe they want to put signage in there.
That's too bad.
But the thing is that it's not so clear that you could, right, under the sign
Plus,
ordinance.
it's actually a focal point, so any
It is a
business
focal
would
point.
be nice. You know.
Actually, having your signage on your building with that right above it, saying "Here we are, right in the heart of Central Square," it would look great.
Yeah.
So, anyway, little thing, you know. You know, if this was Harvard Square, I'm sure that there'd be some neighborhood association chiming in saying,
Speaking of
"You
Harvard
didn't
Square,
pass this in front of us, dear."
I think I've seen. I was driving by. They're already working on the milk and pizza or milk and maine.
Oh,
whatever it's
and
called. Milk
pizza.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
you know, the
that's-
tattooed love boys of and pizza.
So because it's covered, but I saw pink and white, so something must be.
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
That's actually the colors that are going to be there.
I know.
It's a
So
little like
it's,
good and
it's
plenty
being
candy.
worked on. Is there any date of?
I
Final,
I don't know.
finishing?
I don't know, but honestly, that's a business that probably should be in place before
Pretty
the
soon.
fall semester kicks
Oh,
off. I
right.
would hope.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
you know, not much to do. I think it's probably going to open soon. So anyway,
So that was Central Square,
a
and
little
then
bit of Central Square. There's some
okay.
other fun things happening in Central Square too.
Yeah.
You know, just not to be thoroughly random here, but I thought maybe we'd show you some pictures of some of the construction that's actually happening here and there and everywhere. You know, actually, if you go down places in Boston nowadays, like Seaport District probably being the most spectacular example, you see all sorts of construction happening.
Well, there's
all
some
over the
big
place.
Thing today, the Dalton Place that got
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
mentioned in the debate because it's got $6 million condos and one already offered for $40 million that someone's taking up,
Yeah.
and there was a big debate about is this what? And it's like over the top.
Well, actually, speaking of over the top, the Dalton
Oh, it's going to be the
project
tallest one in the state. That's what
Is
they
that right?
said. Yes.
so it's going to beat the
So-
Prudential?
Oh my God.
I thought it was
that's right.
second biggest or third
I
biggest
heard
or
it's
something.
going to be bigger than.
Well, it's pretty big.
So
I mean,
do you know exactly?
well,
is it
I was
downtown?
I'll tell
Where
you,
is it?
I was down at MIT the other day, and I'm looking
Yeah.
out from the Killian Court, out where
Yeah,
the big dome
and
is,
you could see a huge.
and you look right across toward Boston, and
Yeah.
then now there's this big thing there.
Is it where the Sheraton and Huntington Avenue is? Is that Dalton? I'm trying to think where
It's
it is.
kind of like there. You know where it is? It's closer to where Berkeley School of Music is. If you,
Okay, so
if you go
it's that
back
part
from
of
there,
Boston. Okay,
there's,
it's around by the library
there's-
of Dalton Street. Okay.
If anybody's ever, if you've
Yeah.
ever gone bowling at Kings and Queens, which is
Exactly.
right there,
So
I
it's
think
that
that was
street.
Dalton Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's where this
But I
building
think
is.
they got, could be wrong. I think part of the deal was they were getting some air rights over the Pike there,
You might be right.
right? which is going to help make
Wow.
the project, right? But it's really shot up like a
It's
tree.
it's going to be either the biggest or like, because that's what I heard today. But anyway, so check it out.
Well, anyway, it's big, right? Now, so you think it's a lot of us, you think of big stuff going there. You think of big stuff going up in Kendall Square because there is some big
There
stuff
are
going up in
there is
Kendall
big
Square,
stuff going up.
right? And soon to be some rather new big stuff too, which on the Boston properties, right at the outbound Red Line station, right where the Harvard Coop is.
And who owns what is
Boston
that?
Properties is the chosen developer from the Cambridge Redevelopment Authority.
Oh, is that
They
for
have
the
the rights.
Foundry? Oh no,
No,
we're
no,
talking a whole
no.
different place.
Oh yeah, but it's right there, right in front of the Marriott. So there's a big project proposed there. But let's actually show some of the Central Square. Actually, let's scroll to the top of those first.
Okay.
Sort
You
of
don't want to.
show you a little bit here. Just
All right, so we'll do buildings.
yeah,
let's
let's just
see.
talk a little bit about buildings here because I thought it's kind of interesting to watch the chronology. So
Okay,
here we go.
so
So
start
this
with
is
history here.
yeah, just a little bit going historically. So this is I just happen to be randomly pulling these things. Every once in a while I walk by and I have my camera, so I just snag some photos. So what you got here on the left here is
Right here.
from last November,
November
when
5th.
literally the Mass and Main site down here around Lafayette Square was just a big hole in the ground, and they were just moving earth around. That
Yeah.
was pretty much it. Over on the right, you see there a couple months later in
Winter
February.
has fallen.
There's snow around there, but they've now sort of put some of the steel structure to hold back the
Yeah.
earth from caving in. And it's largely shelled out. It's more of a big hole in the ground now rather than just piles of earth.
Right. So what's over? When is this?
And then down here, the next one is in
March
March.
9th. So that's actually was only a month later.
That's right. So a month later,
Interesting.
what you see there is what some people thought of. What are they doing? Putting in pipes? Well, actually, no.
Right.
The truth is, and you can sort of see it on the right-hand picture as well.
Oh, right. This is the one. Yes.
When you're holding back a lot of earth, and there would be a tendency, especially if some water got into the hole, for the whole thing to collapse. So what you do is you actually put in these big steel pipes in there, basically to hold the walls apart, so it doesn't collapse.
So what about that? Where's that drain thing they were talking about? That's going to
That's
be
behind it, over
Okay.
on Bishop Allen's side of the.
So when are they going to
municipal
close
parking
Mass
lot is.
Ave to do something? Is that not happened yet? I thought that was happening
No, I
this
don't know
summer.
that there'll be much closure, if any closure.
Oh,
What
'cause
they
that's
will
what
have
I read
to do,
originally.
because as part of this project, even though it's a city project and it's
Yeah.
going to run sort of next to it,
Right.
there's a big stormwater detation basin being built.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's over on the Bishop Allen side, but they have to
Oh, it's on
convey the
the-
stormwater
Under
through the
Mass
site,
Ave, right?
under the subway,
Right.
and
Right.
then to connect to an existing.
I heard it was going to be in August, but maybe they're behind
Well, it
schedule.
could,
Because they
it
said it
could.
would impede traffic on
But they're going to
Mass
pipe
Ave.
jack it. So what that means is you drop a shaft down over on the sidewalk side. It might have to spill over into the street. And you do that on both
Yeah.
sides of the street. You tunnel,
Yeah.
you dig down, and then when
Right.
down underground, you then tunnel under the
Right.
under the subway.
I think what they said, you're going to have both-way traffic on one side of Mass Ave.
Yeah,
when they get to that
they'll
point.
have to
So they're
reduce-
obviously not there
They'll
yet.
probably have to take out some a lane of
Exactly.
traffic here and there. to do
Hopefully
that.
after the BU Bridge thing
Yeah.
is finished.
So you can see here. This is in May. You can see
Yeah.
how all they're still doing. There's no structure other than just the basement.
3
You can see it's
months
now that all the concrete is down poured below.
Yeah.
And they've and they're the walls, the old slurry walls that had been poured in the winter. Actually, they just have to be held apart so they don't collapse. And then I think by the time the next one here right across the street. So
Yeah,
let's scroll down a
this
little bit.
is the
So
back of,
meanwhile, as Mass
yeah.
and Main is happening, Patrick
Yeah.
Barrett, our dear friend Patrick,
Yeah.
this is the backside that most people don't usually look at.
Right.
But this is the backside that used to have all
of
sorts of
the backside
ductwork.
of where Toscanini's
Toscanini's.
is
It
temporarily
used to have a lot of
rebuilt,
ductwork all pinned up there. So all that was taken away, and you can kind of see in the picture on the left how there's like a tunnel down into the dungeon.
Oh,
underneath.
here, yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
whereas in the right one, they've actually built some of the foundation for
Oh,
the
so
extension.
this is like
This
a month and a half later. Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
So is
so
he adding
about a month
to
later.
this? Is
Yes.
that- I see.
So in addition to what you're seeing here is unfortunately just the back of the
So
building.
where's the parking going to be? Is there going to be parking
There-
underground or?
Yes, it'll be sort of some underground. So
Oh.
that's some of what they're accommodating with that
I see.
concrete that you see in the foreground. Most of what you see there is internal in the building. I've actually been down in the basement
Oh.
where you could actually look all the way
Wow.
through all the floors, all the way up to the roof.
Wow.
So was like a big shell. A lot of like surgery going on
That's
in
a
there.
big building.
Oh yeah, it's a good sized building, you know, and it'll be a bit bigger, and they'll get Patty Chen will be back in there, Toscanini's will be back in there.
So it was
But
3 stories.
It's
and
interesting
it had,
because that's in contrast to the Mass Main building, which is right across the street, which is actually a
Okay.
cluster of several buildings. So what do we have here now? I threw the one here on the left. This is not Cambridge at all. This is just down in the
this is
Seaport
Seaport,
district.
but it's the same kind of
But it was
structure
Yeah, there's a construction technique that seems to
Yeah.
be really the way to go these days.
everywhere. Yeah.
Where what they do is they build a central shaft which holds
Which is
staircases.
this. I guess this one too.
Yeah, it's
Is this
basically where the
another building?
staircases will be. You know, but it basically then they put steel structure. You can actually see some of the steel structure going up there at the base here,
Yeah.
and then basically you're connecting the steel structure to this concrete reinforced tower that's in the center.
Yeah.
And you can see in this picture here on the left that there's actually multiple shafts because there's actually I think multiple buildings. that
Oh,
were all
sure.
happening
This is another building
simultaneously.
here, and then
Yeah.
gosh knows what's over here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually.
Oh,
yeah,
even
this
more
building.
maybe because
Yeah.
a lot of them were shooting up.
Yeah,
like
that's my
they're-
least favorite
they-
place
they
to
were-
go to.
they were really
Seaport.
sprouting up.
I don't like Seaport.
Now over on the right here, this is a picture taken
Okay,
in
Bishop
June.
Out. Okay, so
This is in a,
I
this is
haven't
all
even
part of
seen
the
this.
this is part of the Mass and Main
So
project.
this is behind Mass and Main,
This
which
is
would
where
be
the
to
parking
the left.
garage used to be over there. This
Okay.
crappy looking parking garage got taken down,
Yeah,
and they put up a residential building over there.
but it's all part of the same development.
Yeah, it's same. It's still Alex
and what is going to
Twining.
be here?
Yes.
Is this
That's
all
just housing. That's
all
all housing. In fact, almost all of Mass and Main is housing. Let's be clear about that.
So
except
it's
for
got
some
the
ground floor
20% rule, or is it before the 20%?
This one here actually may. I'm not even going to say because I'm not
You
100%
think it's
sure.
even more than that?
This is before the 20%
Right,
inclusionary
that's what I
zoning
thought.
was negotiated.
Right,
But
so it would be
I think they got
12%.
in the vicinity of that even prior to passage. That was sort of part of the negotiations.
Okay, so bigger question,
get
is
the
it
zoning for it.
condos or is it rental?
I think it's all rental, but I'm not
Oh.
100% sure. So let's scroll down a little bit, and you'll get a
Yep.
little closer to that to today.
Okay,
if
so
you-
now we're back
So
to,
what you see after
This is
the
cute.
basement's all
Yeah.
built, here's in June 30th. Here we got about maybe
Yep.
2 or 3 floors of
Mm-hmm.
the tower being built right there at June 30th, and I think over on the right hand side
Yeah,
that's the
what's
same
this?
day.
really?
This is just a different perspective,
Oh, okay.
looking
Yeah.
over from the Columbia Street side,
Okay,
right?
but then you go
And you see the big
down.
tower, and then this is
Yeah.
actually just a few days
This
ago.
is Thursday, because I think I sent that one to you.
That's right. So we can
It's
see
right
here-
after the rain, and I
So
was
this
like,
is,
wow.
you know, we're in
Yeah.
today's August 7th, so this
Yeah,
is
so
this
this
is in
was
August.
This was like,
And if you look there, there's about
August 3rd.
17 stories. You know, so I have a photo on the right as well. It was about 17 stories, and the little cage atop was where they were constructing the 18th. I counted today.
yeah, how many now?
And it was about 18th, and they got the structure up around the 19th. And I think
Isn't
whole-
it only 20?
I think that's right. So
Yeah.
the tower is almost complete now. So
Yeah,
anyway,
let's go
so
back, we'll look at the other
so
thing.
that's how it's happening. You know?
Yeah,
And you know, I have to say, you know, there's something kind of spectacular, a little stunning, a little scary to some folks to see
Yeah.
something big going in Central
Yeah.
Square.
yeah.
But I'm finding myself actually just being fascinated
Yeah.
watching this
No,
happen.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and you know, and we're going to have some ground floor retail. Let's hope it's not all high end everything, right? But
Well, as we talked, I maybe not
Two
on
or-
the air,
200
but we talked about the whole idea, because that's the new thing, you put retail on the bottom, but when you walk around Cambridge, you see so many empty retail
yeah,
stores that I just don't know what's gonna go in there.
you know, I'm actually talking more and more loudly to people saying
Yeah.
that maybe we need to change our philosophy
Yeah,
about ground floor retail in multi-use districts, you know, including places like Central Square, where, and again, property owners probably beat me up for saying that, but for saying this, but maybe we have to actually think of the ground floor retail as basically something that's provided to the retailer at cost. Pretty much, you know, in other words, you don't make your profit from that. You make it on your upper floors.
right, but I
Right.
thought that is the idea.
Well, there's no
Oh,
legal
so that's
obligation.
your idea, okay.
It's not my idea, but
When
the
we
thing
talked
is,
about it, I thought you said, well, they just do it because they get most of their money
well, you
from
know,
the
in
housing.
both Kendall Square and actually part of this
Yeah.
K2 C2 process, the C2 recommendations, and it was actually part of the Barrett
Yeah.
one of the Barrett petitions. The Central Square Restoration petition actually
Yeah.
said, let's exempt ground floor retail from the gross floor area calculations for height and density limits. So basically, we'll just let you have that,
I
and then you
see.
can build an extra floor. But there's no
But
there's no condition that
Yeah.
says that if you do that, then you must provide the retail
A lower,
a nominal cost so that a retailer can actually survive,
yeah.
right? Because I think it's hard to do retail now.
So was there any discussion by the developers that they would consider that?
I don't
When
know.
this was all going
I don't
on in
actually
public
know.
comment? and stuff?
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
hopeful because I certainly talked to them about it.
Well, why does it have to be retail? Couldn't it be?
It doesn't. It could be.
I
It
don't
could be
know.
a dentist's office. It could be.
Well, yeah.
Well, by retail that includes you could have a bakery as retail. You know, you could have.
Well, to me, that's retail. You're selling something. But
Right.
what if it was some kind of professional office or, well, I guess.
That'd be okay with
Well,
me.
it's all
But
selling.
you know, that
something.
actually takes us back to another topic, which
Yeah.
is that you know they still have not. I don't know why the council is sort of dilly-dallying about this, but and I don't know
Not
why the
meeting.
community development department is dilly-dallying as well. But
Which is what?
the truth is that there are in these various zoning districts, like the Business B district that we're in right now, where certain tables, what they call table of uses, are in
Right.
place.
Oh,
says
that's
what
supposed
you-
to get work done.
It is supposed to get worked, except they're dilly-dallying. So the thing is that so if you want to open up as just a classic retail, then it's an allowed use. You don't need any special permissions. You just sign a lease with your building owner and you run your business, right? But the thing is that if you wanted to open, let's say, a dentist's office, you got to go get a special waiver or because it's not listed as an allowed use in the Central Square district.
I've seen dental offices in Central Square.
Yeah, you see dental offices in
Because they
Central
had
Square because
special permits?
they came in front of us with the Central Square Advisory Committee, and then we said, we think this is an okay thing, and then they had to go to the planning board, and then I think it was the planning board or the Board of
So you
Zoning
have to get a
Appeals
special
to
permit.
basically say, okay, we'll say, even though it's not one of the allowed uses, we'll let it go. That's ridiculous, you know, there's certain things
But
like.
also the formula business thing has to be looked at too, because you could have,
Right, I mean, right now, the test case of the formula business
yeah,
ordinance,
is
which was part of the Central
oh,
Square
the
Restoration Petition,
Amazon,
was the
yeah.
Amazon
they had
building.
to get rid of their swish.
And honestly, if the whole net effect of having a formula business ordinance was really to kind of cut down on banks and fast
Cell
foods
phone
and whatever,
stores,
cell phone stores.
banks.
If the whole net result of that effort was that you're going to tell Amazon that they can't, they have to change the fancy
Yeah.
Amazon logo to just straight font Amazon, I don't see that as a big victory.
Yeah.
That is nothing
It's
to write home
their
about.
regular font, but they just took away, they have a circle
Yeah.
that they don't have their swish in, so
Yeah.
that's kind of
Right.
ridiculous.
See, if it was my ordinance, it would
Yeah,
basically
like
say,
say-
okay, you can run
Yeah.
whatever business you want over there. I don't
Right.
care what you want to do.
Yeah,
But the thing is that your street frontage has to be much more active and interactive. Like, you know, again, I'm not just joking, but sell some hot dogs out of the front window.
I
Have
know.
a guy who makes keys, you know, anything, right?
well, they'd argue
or a
they're making
lemonade
keys
stand,
over at the
right?
hardware store.
Yeah,
so.
but you know, the idea was we all
I
like to
know.
have an active street frontage of
Yeah.
retail when you're walking down the street,
Yeah.
you know? And, you know, honestly, if you want to do sort of the business of Amazon pickups in there, they don't need the front windows for that. You know, so you could actually have all that activity go right, you know, behind there.
I don't think, now it's up to Amazon. It's
I
their
know,
lease,
but it's kind of like the Microsoft window that you see through the window in the heart of Kendall Square.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I mean, the whole idea is you don't want to have street frontage just be the sign of the building. You know, like the
Yeah.
big Microsoft
But if at least you look
logo.
in, you're looking in.
You're looking in.
I
it's
don't
something.
need to have somebody selling me something, I don't know.
I know. I just think it's a little bit better if it's a bit more
They could have
interactive.
videos, they could have news feeds like they do in Times Square. What's
I'd
wrong
be okay with that too.
Yeah,
But there's probably people who would object to that in Cambridge because it's
Maybe.
what we like to do.
remember in front of Cardullo's, they used to have the TV, or was it Cardullo's? Everybody would watch the Red Sox game.
I was there. I would sit
I
there.
don't think that's allowed anymore.
With Bob Marshall and
Yeah.
others, and we'd watch the ball game.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, with the Harvard Square kiosk, I have on a number of occasions said, you know what, I want the Harvard Square kiosk. Do whatever you want inside there, sell hot dogs.
Okay, we
ain't
need to
gonna
then
happen.
put a note into
But-
Amazon's ear about, hey, how about just when the Red
Just-
Sox are
just-
on? That would be a
just
great
have-
use of the square there.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
Okay, you heard
So
it first, right
Amazon,
here.
Amazon, we
All
want to
right.
watch ball games out of your front
Just when
window.
it's on, and
If you
I'm
do
sure
that,
you
we'll
have a
love you.
TV, you could order it.
I'll shop
Prime.
online if you do
Right.
that.
Oh, yeah, sure you would. Right.
Listen, I shop online, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
they could
happens.
get it there immediately. The TV. Okay.
All right, now I'm going to
Well,
tell you.
We have 2 minutes
We have
left
2
of
minutes.
this segment.
So I'm
Now
going to give
what?
you, this is a, we can talk a little bit more about some of these building related
Yes.
things. But here's one.
Yeah.
Tonight, planning board meeting starts at
Oh.
6:30.
On
I
what?
think it's a relatively small matter. I don't think it'll go quick, but it was turned into a controversy. There was something called the St. James Project, which is a residential project.
Oh, I read a little bit about that in
Porter
the Porter
Square.
Square. Oh, that really
Right,
annoyed me
and it was
when I
Oak
read
Tree
that.
Development,
Yeah.
and it was, it was actually the church worked very
The
closely
church-
with them. It's
Right,
actually
because they
necessary
need
for
the
the
money
survival
and it
of
would
the
help
church.
them, right?
So, so there were
What's the
some
deal
neighbors
on
who
that?
objected to it. So
Yeah.
they got their permits, they got everything here, and then it was lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit,
You know,
right?
why
Saw
is that allowed?
losers. Well, because it's a legal
But
process.
if they got their permits already, how can you sue them?
you find a basis for it, and then the wheels of justice can take very long. But meanwhile, the price of your project can get much more expensive. A lot of things change. So anyway, so they filed for an extension of their permit because otherwise it might expire.
Right,
And
okay.
some people were sort of saying, oh yeah, well they should be now subject to the city's new inclusionary zoning
That's not
standards.
right.
Of
No.
course, it's not right.
No.
So something I've never done before is I actually sent in a communication to the planning board today,
Good for you.
pretty much saying, look, if you don't grant them the extension, since the sole reason for the need for that extension was the serial litigation of a bunch of
Right.
just angry neighbors,
Yeah.
then that would be a crime to reward
for
that
you.
misbehavior.
No, everything I read,
So-
there's no reason to have this not go through.
It
'Cause
really
the
should
church
happen.
benefits, and it's
Yeah.
going to be nice, and it's been an ugly
Yeah.
area for a long time.
Absolutely. So
You know,
Anyway,
sometimes we're just too pushy.
we get a little ridiculous in Cambridge
Right,
sometimes.
yeah.
So anyway, so
Okay, see you in the next segment.
see you in 2 minutes in
Yeah.
Cambridge 3 in Cambridge
3
Inside
minutes.
Out.